Overthinking is costing you more than failure because planning feels safe, but it's quietly costing you momentum, confidence, and progress. And if you click this video because you feel busy, but nothing is actually moving, you're in the right spot. Most people think they're stuck because they don't know enough. And that's almost never the problem. You might know somebody like this. They talk about all the great things they have in the works, the business they're building, the cool new feature they're developing. There's always something coming, but nothing ever actually arrives. The problem is they keep planning, organizing, consuming instead of putting something into the market, and they call it productivity. But nothing moves. There's no feedback, there's no customers, there's no clarity, just more thinking. And if thinking was enough, don't you think you'd have what you wanted by now? You see this all the time in business. Someone spends months perfecting their logo, their website, their offer, their pricing. Everything looks great on paper, but they never sell. There's no calls booked, there's no objections heard, no one saying yes or no. This isn't a business, that's just a sandbox somebody's playing in for comfort. Because until the market responds, everything that you're doing is a hypothetical. It's not real. So think about it like this. Let's say you're lost in a forest. There's three paths in front of you. Each one maybe is like a mile away, and you don't know what it's going to be like. One might lead to water. One might lead to a dark and winding, scary place. One might be rocky but passable. You have no idea. So you sit there trying to figure out the safest option, strategizing, thinking about what might come up. Days go by, and now you're exhausted, hungry, low on resources, not because the paths were inherently dangerous, but because you didn't move. You don't have any knowledge. Now just imagine that you picked one of those paths. You walk a mile towards what you think is a creek, and it turns out that it's not a creek. It's a raging river that you can't cross. Good. You just eliminated a third of your options with certainty. And yes, you probably burned some resources doing that. You spent the time, you spent the energy, you had to deal with the outcome of it being wrong and maybe being frustrated with choosing the wrong path. But here's the truth that people avoid. You are going to burn resources either way. And you can burn resources sitting still, planning and consuming, or you can burn resources moving, learning, and gaining insight. But only one of those gets you closer to where you want to be. That's how business works. An offer that doesn't sell isn't a failure. Content that gets ignored isn't a failure. Ads that don't convert aren't a failure. They're information. They're data points to reflect on so that you know what to do next. Sitting on the idea would have burned the same resources, but given you zero insight. And this is where I want to make this really real. This video is me doing exactly what I'm talking about. This is probably not the best scripted video ever. I may not deliver it perfectly. I can almost assure you the editing could be better than what it's going to be, but this video might get 0 views. People might leave negative comments. There are a lot of things that could go wrong. But what I didn't do was just sit on the message, sit in my own thoughts. I didn't wait until it was perfect. I didn't wait until I felt confident. I didn't wait until every variable was controlled. Because staying in a state of inaction because of what could go wrong is the most expensive decision that you can make. And instead, I'm focused on what could happen if it goes right. Even if this video isn't perfect, it might be the exact message someone needed to hear today. So be willing to take the shot, be willing to look like a beginner, be willing to fail in public, because action creates clarity and clarity compounds. Standing still does not.